It's Sunday morning, and every decent man and woman is listening to Test Miles with Nick Miles on FM News 101 KXL. Buckle in.
It's Sunday morning, time to talk cars for the next 60 minutes on your weekly automotive experience. I'm Nick Miles, and you're listening to America's automotive radio show, Test Miles, locally created, nationally celebrated. This morning, Test Miles team includes our very interesting 13-year-old savant, Zhenya, and also the show's producer, Sean Walker, is here. This week, I traveled to Iceland to test drive the brand new Land Rover Discovery Sport in one of the world's harshest conditions area, that is Iceland. And also, we'll get a sneak peek inside the Portland International Auto Show, as director of the show, Jeff Fishback, is here. He joins us in studio. And also, if you've seen shows like Grimm, Leverage, Drugstore Cowboy, and America's Most Wanted, you'll know that they have some interesting driving stunts in them. We will speak to one of the stunt drivers from that show. So first of all, let's talk about what cars we've been driving this week so we can give you a radio experience of the vehicle. I've been lucky enough to spend the week in the Chrysler 300. What an outstanding vehicle. I actually had the C version, which is their new, I had the S version, which is their new kind of sports version of the car, a four-door, full-size sedan. Iconically styled, it has a road presence, and an 8-speed automatic is standard now. It has a V6 with an upgradable V8, features tech and lots of options. Despite the new transmission, there is no great gains in fuel economy. There is good fuel economy, but it's not outstanding. The engine choices are the 3.6-liter V6 or the 5.7-liter V8. Now, the V6, the V8, 292 horsepower, and those are available. Also, you can get the S trim, and there's the 5.7-liter, which says 363 horsepower. I will say that they've done a really good job with the new 8-speed automatic transmission. A rear-wheel drive sedan, if you look at it, this is one of only 2 rear-wheel drive American sedans. The other one, of course, is the Charger. And there are a few Japanese full-size rear-wheel sedans and German, but this and the Charger are the only American full-size rear-wheel drive sedans.
That's crazy because, you know, I thought America was all about their rear-wheel drive cars, and now that's only 2 cars left.
Right. The others are all front-wheel drive. Impala is front-wheel drive. It's just an interesting change, a 180 degrees. Look at the fuel economy. The 3.6-liter V6 gets 23 miles a gallon. That's not bad. That's 19 city, 31 highway. 23 miles is combined. And if we look at the 5.7-liter V8, it's 16 in the city, 25 on the highway. It gives you 19 combined. So what does it compete against? Well, the Toyota Avalon, the Kia Cadenza, Ford Taurus, Chevy Impala are its main competitors. Those 2 trim levels, the 300C and the 300S, which I spent a week driving. I will tell you that this is just another feather in the cap of Fiat Chrysler automobiles. Their vehicles now outstanding as far as the tech is concerned with their Uconnect system. And some of the new things that Uconnect can do includes now, if you lose your car, it will find it on your phone, which a lot of other brands do. But not only that, it will direct you via a map to find your car. So if you've lost it in a baseball match, a football match, a basketball match, basketball more likely in Portland, and you can't find where you parked your car, it will give you directions to it. It can do a lot of the other things like unlock the car via the Uconnect system, and all those things give you a vehicle health report. Also this week, been inside the brand new Mazda CX-9 4-door, 7-seater SUV. Very nice interior, a very sensible vibe with a third row. Good on the crash test scores, a stiff ride, but not great on the crash test scores. V6, a 3.7-liter, 273 horsepower, 6-speed automatic, and it does have that manual shift control. You can get it in either front wheel or all-wheel drive, 19 miles a gallon combined. I would say that its competition is the Kia Sorento, Ford Explorer, Toyota Highlander. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 as far as score is concerned. But it does come in 3 different trim levels and starts at just under $30,000. And this CX-9 from Mazda has been an absolute home run for them. Really good car and one of my choices of the best vehicles with a third row.
I've been driving the 2015 Mazda 3. This was one of the runner-ups last year for Car of the Year. Did eventually lose out to the Corvette Stingray, but it's a fantastic vehicle. A lot of tech in the vehicle. There's their interface system, which they try to allow people not to, or visually not take their eyes off the road. So they have a little screen that comes up with heads-up to screen or heads-up display.
No, it's like a flip-up.
It's a flip-up versus
piece
a lot
glass,
of them.
right?
Yeah, it's a flip-up screen where it comes up out of the dash, where most of them project on the windshield. But with this one, it helps prevent with ultraviolet or UV lenses, and so
right. So if you wear blue blockers, you weren't able to see the HUD display.
Basically, the only thing, like, my problem is I sit a little higher in the car, so sometimes I get a little cut out on it. I wish it was on the screen, but I still love this system. The navigation, also, there's only 7 things on the screen, so basically you can't go through. And
right, so this is the infotainment screen, and Mazda did some research to learn that if you put more than 7 things on the screen, it's distracting. So they put a minimum of 7 things up at any one time, right?
Yes. It's a fun car, great drive. I mean, the one I had 185 horsepower, the 2.4 liter Skyactiv engine. Oh, excuse me, 2.5 liter. And it's a great drive, 6-speed manual, which I'm so impressed that they have 6-speed, because most cars now are going to automatics. But this car is a great car. Style is great. The paint is the best thing, because they changed their gun or made a gun so the flakes came on there and laid differently, so it looks like it's in motion. I wish it came in an orange, because I think with that paint job and a deep orange, that car would be great. I can't really find anything wrong with the car. I was getting almost 35 miles to the gallon with it. Fun to drive. The only thing, like, I really wish they had is they come out with a Speed 3 and actually bring back the rotary engine for it.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
There's rumor, though, that
it won't be in a 3, though.
There is rumor that they're bringing back the rotary engine.
Right.
I'm not saying for a Mazda 3. I'm saying for a Speed 3.
Right.
A couple months ago, the CEO of Mazda said he's not going to continue with the RX series.
Right, and there'll be something completely new. We've seen some of their concepts, which suggest that there will be something that looks a similar shape and size, but it won't be. And they just can't make that engine work. It's really hard. They just can't make it work.
Well, they can't get fuel economy out of that engine. It's not that they can't get it to work. It's just fuel economy out of it.
But fuel economy is an important part of the 3-pronged attack. It's power, fuel economy, and durability. Right?
It's accurate, because they just announced that they're going to be done with manual gearboxes in 2016.
Right,
and fuel economy.
And one of the things with these is because now the automatics are so technical, they can be better fuel economy.
Yeah, but manuals are still fun to drive. Starting price for this Mazda 3 is $16,945, which I think is a steal.
Okay, good. Jenya, what have you been driving?
I have been driving the Jaguar XKRS.
In your video game?
Yes, I have been driving in my video game.
Did you win your races?
No.
What?
I didn't race in it. I just drove it around Colorado.
Oh.
It is such a great sounding car.
Well, Jaguars are famous for their sound, especially the F-Type.
They're also famous for having bad guys be in them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, if you're a villain, you should be driving a Jaguar.
They had a whole ad on that.
They did. Last year, that was their big ad campaign. All right, let's talk about what's coming up on the show. Coming up next, we'll talk to Simon Turner from Land Rover. He is the future project manager or future product manager. He'll tell us all about the trip to Iceland that I was on last week. Also, we have Jeff Fishbag from the Portland Auto Show. He is here. He's going to tell us some of the cool things that go on in the show. And we're going to introduce you to one of the guys you've seen on TV multiple times, but you don't know who he is. He's one of the stunt drivers that make TV shows look so impressive. There's all that and more coming in this morning's edition of Test Miles. I'm Nick Miles.
It's Test Miles on FM News 101. Test Miles, like NASCAR, but with one right turn. TestMiles.com.
Welcome back to TestMiles. Get a good deal on tickets to this year's Portland International Auto Show. You can buy online the show February 5th through the 8th. Go to portlandautoshow.com and we'll be broadcasting live from the show with special guests on Sunday, February 8th, so come on down. Here's a fun fact you can impress your friends with. 75% of cars that Rolls-Royce has ever produced are still on the road. Now, if you have not heard of Land Rover, you must have been living under a rock for the last 67 years. Land Rover is a brand of the British car manufacturer Jaguar Land Rover, which specializes in four-wheel drive vehicles. The Land Rover was originally used and a name used by the Rover company for one specific model. Named simply the Land Rover, launched by Rover in 1948. Over the following years, it's developed a unique marquee encompassing a range of four-wheel drive models, which include the Defender, the Discovery, the Freelander, the Range Rover Sport, and the Range Rover Evoque. I spent last week in Iceland test driving the newest vehicle from the British automaker, the Land Rover Discovery Sport, a compact SUV with all the capability that we've come to expect from Land Rover. Along with me on the trip were two very important people, Stuart Gill, who's the British ambassador to Iceland, and the man who's responsible in part for planning future models of the car. Joining us on the phone is Simon Turner. Simon, have you managed to warm up since you were in Iceland?
Yeah, it was a fun trip, though, Nick, as you well remember. But yes, got home, actually probably to colder weather, so I'm trying to warm up since I've come back.
Oh, that's not so good, because it was pretty cold in Iceland. Simon,
Exactly.
Simon, tell me a little bit about why we should care about the new Land Rover Discovery Sport.
Well, it's a new product for Land Rover, as you've said. It is the first product in the important discovery pillar of our model strategy. It follows on the heels of the Range Rover products that we've seen launched in the last few years. And as I said, the first of new products in the discovery pillar. It is a compact SUV. It's contemporarily styled. It offers all of the off-road capability that you would expect of a Land Rover. But most importantly, two important factors. It is very competitively priced, and it offers up to 7 seats for families who have that need.
So one of the most impressive parts of the trip was fording that river. Fast-moving water, lots of ice in it, fairly deep, about almost two feet deep. This Discovery Sport had no problem fording that river, and it's because it actually has a pretty good fording depth, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely. And fording, of course, is part of the DNA of Land Rover products. We design all of our vehicles to be capable, and it has a 24-inch, or just short of 24 inches wading depth, which is, we believe, class-leading. Probably not something that the average consumer is going to use, but many of them will be comforted that it's got the capability if they ever needed to use it.
The Land Rover lineup has really been missing something at this end until now.
Well, absolutely, yes. As I mentioned before, you'll be aware, and your listeners will be aware, we spent the last several years renewing our Range Rover lineup. Got a very competitive product range at that end of the market now, but clearly we need to be moving into the more volume segments. Land Rover and the Discovery models and the family of vehicles will give us the ability to do that. So we needed a product that, again, was very capable, competitively priced and accessible to a broader range of people. So that's exactly really why we're entering into the Discovery segment and the compact segment a bit more aggressively than we have in the past.
Now, astonishingly, it starts at just under $38,000, well-equipped. I managed to build one sort of with the information I got for around $45,000. I would be extremely happy with. But you have, you call it a 5+2. Explain to me what a 5+2 is.
Yeah, so pretty unheard of in the compact segment is +2 seating. Compact SUV segment is +2 seating. So we believe we are the only premium brand at the moment which is actually offering +2 seats. And literally, the +2 seating is a usable third row that allows kids or teenagers, actually up to small adults, to ride in the back or access the third row area where the trunk would normally be. So we've been able to do that through a very smart packaging of the interior of the car, and that's underpinned by a very compact rear suspension design that also gives us the off-road capability we'd expect, but also the interior packaging that we need in order to package this third row. So we have a sliding second row which slides up to 6 inches to allow access to the third row, but also to optimize the leg room for passengers riding in the second and third rows. So again, 7 seats is pretty unusual in this segment. We think we've got a winner with this vehicle, in part related to the fact we have +2 seats, and we're offering a very competitive price.
I was pretty astounded by the fact that when you start to look at the length of the vehicle, it's actually shorter than Audi's Q5, which is a direct competitor to this. But Audi only offers 5 seats, and you seem to have managed to really manage the interior spacing well in the vehicle. And on top of that, something that people know, but they often don't remember when we get sort of wowed by all the latest technology, is the fact that you have stadium seating in every single row of this vehicle, don't you?
Well, exactly, yes, and stadium seating really is one of the design attributes that Land Rover always tries to keep in its products, and what that basically means is the second row seat sits slightly higher than the first row, and then in this case the third row actually sits a little higher than the second row. So it's a little bit, Land Rover likes to look at it from a movie theatre standpoint, where everybody in the vehicle hopefully can see equally well, even though they might be in the second or third row. So a great feature, and one that our customers enjoy.
Now, I will tell you a couple of things. If I can remember rightly, I think the second row seat sits almost 2 inches above the driver, and then the third row 1 inch above that. So if you're in the third row, you're actually 3 inches above the driver. And amazingly, we got to do the first day, we got a tour basically of Iceland, very short tour in which there was 4 of us in the car, and we were rotated through driving in some of the Icelandic conditions. And yet in the second row, lots and lots of legroom. The fact that everybody gets their own air vent in every 3 rows, you get charging ports in every 3 rows, the infotainment system, really easy to use. And I love what you've done between the 2 gauges at the front. Last question, so you have that little TFT screen which gives you all the information you want from a driver. Last question for you, Simon. When can we see them in showrooms in North America?
Yeah, they'll be starting to arrive in early Q2 this year, so that's when you can expect to see them.
Thanks for joining us, Simon. We'll look forward to talking to you about future product coming up, hopefully from Land Rover. You're listening to Test Miles and FM News 101 KXL. I'm Nick Miles.
Favorite us, tweet us, friend us, love us, all at testmiles.com.
Do you want to see some cool cars at this year's Portland International Auto Show? Well, before the public, it is possible. You can come to the sneak peek event Wednesday, February 4th. Tickets are $100. All the proceeds go to local charities. You can have food, drink, and access to one of the best family shows in America. Go to portlandautoshow.com for more information. We'll be broadcasting live from the show with special guests on Sunday, February 8th, so come on down. Welcome back to Test Miles. I'm Nick Miles. Here is a fun fact you can impress your friends with. There are more cars than people on the roads in Los Angeles, and the cars have better attitudes. Don't forget the family event that you will want to look forward to this year, of course, is the Portland International Auto Show. Jeff Fishback is here. He's the director of the show. And, Jeff, did you actually get any sleep in the last week?
I'm going to say about 3 hours a night.
3 hours is probably better than a lot you have done a lot of years. I know that this is the time of year when your family actually forgets what you look like.
Yeah, there's a cardboard cutout next to the refrigerator.
Just in case they forget, the dog growls at you when you get home. How many cars are we going to see at this year's show?
We're right at 566 cars right now.
And the show starts February 5th, runs through the 8th. We talked about how you can get tickets. Tell me some of the exciting highlights.
Well, an exciting highlight that I'm not sure anyone in this room actually knows yet, but we, for the very first time, are going to have a Bugatti Veyron at this year's show.
$2.4 million worth of car.
You heard it here first.
Really? That's pretty impressive. Now, here's a car that you actually have to let warm up for 20 minutes before you can drive it away. It's not like the press the button and start and get in.
If you warm
that
up for 20 minutes, doesn't it run out of gas?
No, not quite. No, but you have to. If you don't warm up that V10 engine, you'll ruin it.
Yes.
In cold weather. Yeah.
Is that going to be in the drive or the test drives?
I would say no. But it will be on the main floor of the auto show, and we do have full-time security with that vehicle for sure.
You do, and
That's
so
to
maybe
keep me away from it.
We hear about you, Sean. It's okay.
maybe we can sit in. Let's talk about the luxury loft, which is one of my favorite parts of the show. Dreams are free, Jeff. I can go up there and dream all I like. I will say test drives are free, but dreams are free too. What's going on with the luxury loft? Are we going to have it? Where is it going to be? What's going to be there?
You know, the luxury segment has grown so big this year. We have 2 luxury lofts. We have one in the Portland Ballroom, which is the South Ballroom. We have one in the Oregon Ballroom, which is up north. And actually, in between those two, we have the Ginkgo Berry Hallway that will have Lamborghini, Bentley, and Rolls-Royce. Wow.
So we can just draw. Will you have like napkins for people to wipe their chin on?
Absolutely. And BMW really has a big display this year. They have quadrupled in size.
One of the things we don't have to dream about is we can actually win a car at this year's show, right?
Yes, very much. There's a 2015 Toyota Camry. The all redesigned Camry is going to be there front and center right at the MLK entrance.
Now, let's talk about something that's important to this show. We've been working on it for a year. It's going to be displayed at the show. That is our Project Discovery. So a recap of that, if you haven't heard about it, we took a 2002 Land Rover Discovery. We gutted it, stripped it down, redid the engine. We built the inside out with the help of Mobile West to be all carbon fibered, luxury dog transportation, iPods, an Audison Italian sound system. Spent a huge amount of money on making that look good. We've wrapped it. It looks absolutely outstanding on the outside. And then on the back, we put a air cannon, which shoots 300 yards if it's charged fully, a tennis ball. We're not sure we're going to be able to shoot that in the show. We're working on being able to shoot that in the show. So Project Discovery is going to be unveiled to the public on the sneak peek. The Wednesday night is the first time that you can see it. Where can people see Project Discovery? Because you haven't told us yet where this car is going to be shown.
Oh, you want me to play all the secrets today? Well, Project Discovery is going to be right at the main entrance on MLK. As you come in the MLK entrance off the street, walk down the stairs, and it'll be right there on your left. Actually, not too far away from the live remote on Sunday when you come down. Right.
So where we'll be broadcasting live, you can come and see Project Discovery, sit in it, lick it, touch it, love it, just like we have done. Tell me a little bit about, I know the Chrysler 300 is going to be showing up this year, the one I've been driving for a week. People will be able to see it for the first time at the Portland Auto Show. Chrysler 300, where's that going to be?
That is actually at the north end of the exhibit hall. It'll be next to the Dub Show Tour as well.
Now, I know another Fiat Chrysler Automobiles car is going to be there, what we named as our truck of the year, which is the Ram 1500 EcoDiesel. Unbelievably outstanding truck. I know that several of the fans of the show have bought this vehicle because we've given it such great reviews, but there are lots of trucks on display. What else you got for us?
You know, there is quite a wide variety of trucks this year. The F-150 is obviously a big showstopper last year. It was making a return appearance this year. We have the F-250 and the F-350 dually there coming there this year as well.
And so there's also the new Chevy Colorado.
The Colorado, and actually we have the Colorado diesel that's going to be on display this year too.
Now, that's just a concept right now, isn't it? They haven't actually shown a full production. Is that the green one? I think I saw it at L.A. I think it was green, the concept version. That is outstanding. You know, I'm such a big fan of diesel. But also you got a Toyota long box as well, don't you?
You know, we do have a Toyota long box, and you are correct about the green diesel. That will definitely be a showstopper for sure. And actually, we just, outside the truck category, another surprise we just heard this morning, we'll have the 2016 Chevrolet Volt on site.
Oh, excellent. That's the one with the new front face. Yeah.
That is correct.
10% bigger, 10% better, more durable, bigger batteries, longer duration, 50 miles, I think, on the battery instead of 35, which was the last generation. So
right.
That's going to be outstanding. All right, let's talk about Clean Tech Center. Since we're getting into these alternative fuels, huge attraction for Portlanders. They want to come down and see some of these really cool cars. So the Clean Tech Center, tell me a little bit about the opportunities with that.
Well, you know, the Clean Tech Center this year has really taken a little bit of a change. And I say a change, we've got one room in the towards the back that's 7,000 square feet dedicated just to electric cars. It plugs in, it's in that room. We have 16 different vehicles in there to look at, and anything from the Mercedes, the BMW i3. But in the category of electric cars, another big news one today, they will have the BMW i8 on site.
That's an amazing car. There's two things I found that wrong with the R8. Two major problems with the R8. I don't have one and I can't afford one. That's basically it. That's the two things I could find wrong with it. I was absolutely blown away with that vehicle, the i8. I drove it last year, and boy, if you get to see that R8, just the doors opening are absolutely outstanding.
Yes, right. It's going to be a showstopper for sure. It's on the front cover of our souvenir magazine this year, too.
Excellent. All right, let's talk about tickets and showtimes.
Tickets are available at portlandautoshow.com, and showtimes, we are Thursday through Saturday, 10 to 10, and Sunday, 10 to 7.
Here's a question for you. If I buy my tickets online, can I get a good deal?
Standard deal, but ease and convenience. That way you don't have to wait in the lines. Just walk right up. They'll scan your ticket and you walk right in.
All right, Shenya's bugging me. You got a question?
To answer my question from the last time you were here, is the GT350 Mustang going to be there?
You'll have to come to the show to find out.
Yeah, you know, big secrets. I don't think they've told us whether the GTs will be there. I know there is only one currently. They may have built a second one. There's the GT350 and the GT350R. And the last time I checked with Ford, they only had one of each. So I'm not sure
they bring it to the show and let us take it out to PIR to just make sure they handle right.
I'm not sure they're going to actually allow us to steal the vehicle, but it's kind of interesting.
Well, and if you're looking for something fast, you can always come to the race garage and see the new rocket-powered dragster.
Yeah, there you go. You have the fastest motorcycle in the world, too, right?
We do, the Castrol Rocket.
Will there be test drives of that?
I'm going to say no.
How fast does that actually go?
I have heard it's upwards of 200 miles an hour.
That's just crazy on a bike.
Well, if you haven't seen it, it's not your average motorcycle. It's fully encased, and it's quite a spectacle for sure.
All right, lots to look forward to at the Paul and Order Show. We got another week. We'll be talking about it next week as well, reviewing some of the stuff as we get closer to the show, new things being revealed. Up next, we're going to talk to a guy that you probably know his work, but you've never talked to him, seen his face, or probably heard about him, but he's one of the guys that drives some of America's best TV shows. He drives the stunt vehicles. His name is Steve Buckley. He'll be on the show next as Test Miles continues on FM News 101 KXL. I'm Nick Miles.
It's Test Miles on FM News 101. Test Miles, like NASCAR, but with one right turn. TestMiles.com.
We'd like to keep you informed all week long, and we can do that by following us on Twitter at Test Miles. And you can also join us at the Paul and Auto Show, as we will be there talking about our made-over 2002 Land Rover Discovery, Project Discovery. We'll have the ultimate dog transportation. You'll be able to see it at the Paul and Auto Show starting February 5th. Or if you go to the sneak peek, February 4th that evening. Here's a fun fact you can impress your friends with. The Camaro was originally called the Panther. It took a while for Chevy to come up with the final name Camaro. For quite a long time internally, it was known as the Chevrolet Panther. In the end, Chevy had a preference for names beginning with C. So
thank you.
Camaro won out. You didn't like the Panther?
No, I don't think I would have owned 4 Panthers.
Sean, a house full of cats. When you watch a TV show and you see a vehicle jumping from a tow truck across traffic or jumping from one side of a drawbridge to the other and traveling several feet inside that car, you may know the person, you may not. You may think that all that driving is done by the stars, but when you're driving at 80 miles an hour, 2 feet off the bumper of the car in front, it's very likely that stunt driver Steve Buckley is in charge. He is a driving instructor, a drag car pilot. He's also driven in many shows like Leverage, Grimm, America's Most Wanted, Rescue 911, and he's live in studio you know, you look like a guy who hasn't been beaten up too much. I expected you to have scars all over your face for some of these stunts and burn marks everywhere, but maybe are you covering those up?
Well, I don't. No, I'm not. No.
You look like you made it out pretty well out of some of these stunts that you've probably ended up doing over the years.
I'll tell you what, the probably the most painful thing that most stunt people suffer are internal
injuries.
Yeah.
So you get beaten up on the inside.
We do,
just like me, but mine's more emotional.
Well, you have a broken heart.
Yeah,
I can't tell a broken heart. Yeah.
What's the scariest stunt you've ever done?
Coming home late Friday night and kissing my wife. That's
when you're home too late.
Yeah, honey, where you been? I don't know. You know, I'll tell you honestly, they all have elements of fear.
Right.
Every single one. Even though it's a fairly sterile setting, you know what should happen, and you have to commit to the end result 100%. Something still might go wrong.
Right.
So you're always on edge, and you're not really sure what you're going to have to fix in the middle of something that shouldn't be going wrong. And
right.
I think that's the perception that a lot of people have as stunt people, that we're daredevils. And a lot of these things are fairly accurate, but like any type of, humanity, anything we have to do human-wise, there's an error of margin for,
I worked on several movies in Poland, and one of them was on the Hawthorne Bridge, where they put a fake train on the bridge because the train actually doesn't go across the bridge. And the SWAT team stormed the bridge, and every time the police cars drove in, we did these takes multiple times. Yeah. Every time the stunt drivers came in, they were within an inch. Exactly every time. One car going up the curb, crashing into a pillar, the next car driving past it, stopping. I mean, everybody was within an inch, and they did it time and time and time again. And that's when I sort of had this new found respect for stunt drivers. You can put a car in exactly the right place time and time again. So if I wanted to be a stunt driver today, what sort of training goes through it?
It's one of those things, there's no school to become a stunt driver. I actually taught at the International Stunt School, and we teach people how to do certain things, but we don't teach them how to get a job. That's tough. It's a family-run business. A lot of these stunt people are connected by generations of family members doing it. If you really want to, try it, then you have to just pick up your bags, move to L.A., move to New York, move to someplace, a fairly big film city, and just start knocking on doors. You have to have a thick skin. It's not a nice business, man. People are mean.
Well, wait, you've got to be able to drive, too. That's probably an important part.
Probably not as much as the political aspect.
Really?
Because a lot of people will just BS you, and they can't drive, and they get on a film set, and they're expected to do a certain thing.
Right.
And, a really good stunt coordinator or, say first AD will weed some of these people out. But we never put like a newbie in a dangerous situation. It's just like a drive up to a camera and stop. And we teach them along the way.
One of the things, it always looks like things go terribly wrong in these stunts because things blow up and cars roll off bridges and that sort of thing. So tell me, the one thing that everybody wants to know is what's gone wrong for you? When have you ended up in places that you didn't expect to end up in?
Well, a couple of times. I've throughout my career, I've bruised my heart from an impact.
Ouch.
Cracked my pelvis.
Ouch.
I've punctured my lung.
Ouch.
Cracked a collarbone. Separated shoulders. Broken fingers.
You can stop now. It doesn't sound comfortable at all.
It's not, but you have to accept it. And that's the thing. You have to accept the inevitability of what you're about to do.
But it obviously has to be an amazing job because you're still doing it. So,
man, I'm telling you, it's worth getting up for.
Yeah, I envy you.
Tell me some of the shows, some of the stunts we may have seen, like in shows you've done in Portland and that sort of thing.
Well, I spent some time on the TV show Leverage and on and off the show Grimm, which is now in production. I've been spending a lot of time with Subaru doing a lot of the Japanese car commercials. They come over from Japan and film here, and I've been doing that for a while. So I haven't been on TV for a while,
right.
TV show-wise.
But a lot of the stuff that you've done with the shows that we know, like Leverage and Grimm and that sort of thing.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Clearly, it's one of these things that you do for love, And I'm expecting that stunt driving, you're not raking in $50 million a year. It's probably one of those jobs like being on the radio where everyone thinks it's really super glamorous. But
It can be.
We're not getting super rich doing it.
No, and the perception is we don't get paid what stars get paid.
Right.
We're paid to make them look good.
Right.
And they can go around boasting that they drove the car.
Right.
Yeah. What are we going to say? We don't care. We get paid. It's not a bad living.
Right.
It's really not. Like back in '94, I was about 20. I was on a TV show called McKenna for ABC.
Right.
Great show. It was only about $2,300 a week. 94. So you can make money, but
but you've got to get the big ones. All right. If we want to find out more about you, do we just Google you?
Yeah, you can Google me. Yeah, stalk me on the internet like everybody else does. My wife does it once a week.
I have some interesting projects we want to talk about in the future with the guys from Elite Camera Car. I want to pull off a TV segment.
Love those guys.
Yeah, they're great guys.
Great guys.
My new best friends where we can do a stunt. But for now, that's the end of this week's show. You can find us on the interwebs at TestMiles.com. Steve, thank you so much for coming in. I'm sure you're going to be a regular guest on the show. We're going to have lots of things to talk about. We will be on Twitter. If you want to listen to these shows, you can go to our website and hit the podcast button to find out more. And do find out more about Steve on the internet. For this week, we will be back next week with more information, but it's goodbye from the whole crew.